All right, we now begin with the last topic in this particular series where we are doing in this particular course. We want to learn how to send an email using the Raspberry Pi. So what we're going to do is we are again going to have two buttons out here, and what we did yesterday. So basically, we're going to press one button, okay, get something to be typed by the user, and then when we press the second button, again, we are going to get the email to be sent. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with programming and let's say Python 3, and we're going to try something first before going ahead. We're going to see if this particular thing works. Import smtplib. Yes, it does, which means smtp library is the library which we're going to use for sending an email. So you would need to check this first if this smtplib is available for you on your Raspi, else you might have to install it by you can just Google it out, how to install smtplib. By default on every Raspberry Pi, this library is pre-installed. All right. Okay, so we're going to use that. So we're going to say smtplib, by the way, is nothing but a simple mail transfer protocol library. So basically, it is a mail transfer protocol that we're going to do. So let's start up with a new file. We'll write the problem statement that we want. One button. Ask user to enter details of what to send in the email, right? And second button, ask user, sends the email with the user contents, right? We're gonna of course, we're gonna get more applications of the email and Twitter in the advanced section for IoT, where we are gonna have some complicated sensors like the Pi camera, take photos, upload onto Twitter, send it on, or detect a motion in the room and then send it on to the send it on and stuff like that. So we're gonna go into multiple applications as we go further. But for now, let's understand. First of all, let's get two functions ready. Def function 1 is taking user input, right? So we take that. Second function that we need to have it ready is def send email, right? So these are two functions which we need to keep it ready. User input. So these two functions are going to be called, of course, by using the GPIO0 library. So what we're going to do is from GPIO0, we're going to import button class, and we're going to create objects of that. Button 1 equal to button of, we can use any GPIO pin that we want. Let's say this time we use the GPIO pins, that is 18 and 19. Let's use GPIO pins 18 and 19. So let's say GPIO button 1 is 18 and button 2 is equal to button of 19. So we can have two of these, button 1 and button 2, that is 18 and 19. All right. So we connect them, and let's see what we can do. So I'm just going to maximize this for now. Okay. And after getting the button 1, that is button of 18, and button 2, that is button of 19, right? What we need to do is we need to say button 1 dot when pressed. Button 1 dot when pressed. What should happen? Button 1 dot when pressed, user input should be called, right? User input should be called, and sorry, I just need to pass the reference out there. Button 2 dot when pressed, I need to have send email function being passed, right? So with these two things done, so when button 1 dot when pressed, we have the user input. Button 2 dot when pressed, we have the send email part of it. Okay, so now let's do the sending of the email. For sending the email, you need to import smtplib. So we import that. So we can do that in the import lines itself out here. So we can say over here, and then I can say importing the simple mail transfer protocol library used for emailing. Okay, so that's how we can import the SMTP lib. All right, so now we need to say what server are we going to use. So we need to say the server that we're going to use for SMTP lib. So first of all, let's have a look at SMTP lib documentation. Go back. So I'm going to exit my Raspberry Pi out here, and I'm going to go for my yep. So this is the email that I'm going to use, the IoT @educba. That's my email which I'm going to use, iot.educba@gmail.com. I'm going to use that email to send my mail, of course, from my Raspberry Pi. So what you need to do is you need to use this, and you need to create your email ID. But be careful, because you're going to even put the password out there. So you don't need to show it to everybody for now. Okay. On the other hand, let's open SMTP lib, Python documentation. So you can just write that down and get the SMTP lib. So for Python 3.6.5, you can open the documentation, and you can just have a look at what we can use. So SMTP lib, this is the documentation for SMTP lib. So SMTP objects, of course, we have to connect. We have to use a few functions, right? Where we need to create objects. All right. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to create from this SMTP lib. We are going to create an instance or an object that we are going to connect to. Using, we need to say what is the host that we are going to use. Basically, the server that we are going to use. Which we are going to use for connecting to. So I'm going to use Gmail. So we are going to use Gmail server. So Gmail server also has its own port number, which we need to use, and then we can use the authorization and stuff like that, right? So we need to do that, and then we can, of course, send mail. We're going to use all these functions one after the other. All right.